Hello guys. I gotta laugh. I'm so old and senile. I just thought I was making a video and the thing wasn't making a video. Did the introduction. Hi, this is Frickin' Jeep and I'm John and welcome, and I'm glad you stopped along. And the camera wasn't even rolling. I'm a knucklehead, you gotta pay to be stupid. I'm sitting here watching and all of a sudden the nose that comes out of the camera went, I go, oh, my battery went dead. And I just took the battery out and charged it. Anyway, I got a lot going on today. Here's where I was probably 5 minutes into the video and then that happened. Got a lot going on today. I got to unload all the stuff from the show up at Carroll County. I want to thank everybody that came out and visited. We had a lot of people, a lot of YouTubers came up that knew me. A lot of new people, gave out a lot of the buttons to people. Hopefully maybe I'll get one more subscriber. It was a pretty interesting show. The weather really, when they forecast the weather and you got a show tractor there or show this or show that, you really don't want to take it out in the rain and the nasty and the mud. So with that being the forecast, it kind of hurt the show. They seem to get hit with rain pretty hard, or hit just the timing. I don't know. You can go weeks and weeks without rain, then you got a show and you get rain. Anyhow, one of the things I'm working on is unloading the truck, get the metal detectors out, get the rakes out, get the cant hooks out, get Buford out, get Old Yeller out, Big Yeller. I don't know what I named that big cant hook. Didn't need all that stuff because they did the guy that brought the wood in, I think his name was Jason. Thank you, Jason. He didn't bring monster logs, and he was the sawyer. He did a real good job of sawing on Sunday, which was yesterday's video. Yesterday's video I realized was a bit long, but it was just, I don't know how many 2-minute videos or minute videos or clips, or I don't know what you call those. I don't edit them together. I just put them all on. I don't know how to edit it, and if I could probably knock out several minutes if I knew how to, like when I turn the camera on, I got to walk around and I sit down. If I knew how to cut it to there, I could probably save you guys a lot of grief. But anyhow, some of the stuff I'm working on today to limber up, because I'm actually sore and a little stiff from yesterday. After I unload the truck, I want to crunch some cans. I've got too many cans. I'm not going to save those for years and years and years like I did before and take them in. I'll just get a bag. It's the bottom line, it's not worth saving those cans. You might as well throw them in a recycle, go wherever, throw them in the trash. I imagine the amount of electricity that I use to crunch a can is probably more than I get in recycle, number one. Number two, just time involved in doing it. It's probably not worth it, but it's something I do. The wood splitter stands. I don't know if you've been with me. I'm working on these wood splitter stands for the Lickity log splitter. Back when that was made, it was made low to a ground, and you could lower it all the way to the ground. So if you had a big one, I guess nobody particularly thought of log lifts. It's kind of like 2 or 3 years ago, nobody even thought of box wedges, or maybe 5 years, somebody didn't think of, maybe 10 years, I don't know. When even the hydraulic wood splitters, when did they come along? So the evolution of wood splitters, the first ones didn't have log lifts. So what this company did is they had a wire and an axle that's on a cam, so you hook it up and it lets that thing sit right down to the ground. I'm not interested in working in the ground, that's too hard. So I'm building these stands over here, and I started with the junk I had laying around the house and then decided I don't have enough junk, and I could have built it out of wood that I sawed off the sawmill, but it seems that kind of wood just doesn't last unless I cut it out of telephone poles, and time made it of the essence and smartness to just go buy 3 2x6s. They didn't have any 8-footers, so I bought 12-footers. I was going to buy 4 8-footers, but they didn't have any, so I bought. And it's not too bad looking wood. I think I showed that in another show. It's all heartwood, but you know, I'll get over it. Then I bought one of these things for the front of the log splitter. I was going to weld that on, then I decided I didn't want to weld that on, so I'm looking for a plate that I can put this on there and just put 4 bolts in to make it look a little more authentic, and so I don't have all this. It's just got a pin you can take in and take out. And that's got to be more for mobile, because when it is on the wood splitter, you have to have I don't know where I'm in the screen there, you have to have a crank on the side here because if you have it on the top, it would hit the wedge, so that wouldn't work. This is my plans, I don't know. But then after it's made, or after you got it set, I think I'm going to make a leg that's level, that I can just put a leg in here and put a pin in it, and maybe take this pin, put a pin in there, and just have it hold the leg. But I got a feeling it's going to be a little wobbly. Anyhow, that's kind of my goal to get ready for the Hope event. I want to take it up the Hope event, not for a main wood splitting splitter, just kind of have fun with it, show people what was in the past, and that's kind of stuff. And I've mentioned Lickity log splitters a million times in the past, and that's kind of what gave me the idea and inspiration and whatever to make my splitter that's down there now over 50 years old. The Lickities were started back in the late 50s, like 58 or 59. Interesting to look up and see some of the interesting shows on those. I want to look at making a table for the Lickity log splitter, but I don't think I can do that in time for the show on Friday, which is today's Monday, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So that's what that on. I want to unload the wood from the big knuckle boom truck that I got a couple of weeks ago. I still haven't unloaded that. It had rained right after I got it back, and I want to use the knuckle boom to help me with the log splitter. It's a lot easier than trying to pick it up, getting in and out of the Bobcat. I can just a lot more control. Might try to saw some lumber. I got that piece of wood that's been on the mill. I think I showed it maybe in a video a few days ago. That's been on there for a month now. And after watching Mark the other day, you don't want to leave wood on the carriage. That's been on there for a month. Old carriage, my old carriage don't matter. When you're cutting junk like I cut, and the mill's is old, and I don't think it's going to hurt my mill. But he's right. Don't leave logs on the carriage. That Jeep engine that you saw me take apart, nobody was interested in. First of all, everybody was interested in it. I had a lot of people, I'll be down there tomorrow, I'll be down there tomorrow, I'll be down there tomorrow. One person came, but nobody wanted the pump. So I took the engine out of the pump, opened it up to make sure that what the inside of the engine looked like, and it really is not too bad. It did free over. You could freewheel it by hand after that. So I got it all out and stuff like that, and I, called all the people or texted or whatever you do, all the people, and nobody got back. Not a single person. Then I kind of gave up on it and just said, well, it looks like it'll sit for a while. And then all of a sudden some guy hit me up from Montana or Nebraska or somewhere way out that way. I'm not sure. Real nice guy, and he seems to be interested into it, very interested into it, because he's restoring a Jeep, and those numbers hit right where his Jeep was. So he knew a lot more about that MB. It's MB for, I don't know what the MB stand, military bantam, I don't know. Anyhow, so I got to saw some wood to make a crate and ship it out to him. So that's going to be in some upcoming videos. If you go by Eddie's channel, the Eddie Horvath, if you don't know the Eddie Horvath, Eddie is the off bearer at Mark Galici's mill up in Bus Motor Productions, or Mark Galici, and he did an interesting video that I watched just this morning. I'm a little behind because I've been gone a few days, and it was on creation. I think is what he said was creation was he's got a word of the day at the end and that kind of stuff, and he cut some wood, and just think about, okay, what it's going to create. It just made you think the story behind some of the stuff. What did it take? Okay, somebody might have planted that tree, then it grew up, then somebody had to go out and say, okay, harvest this tree. Then a logger maybe had to come up and cut this tree down. Then maybe another guy had to come in and with a skidder or somehow get it out of the woods. Maybe a buyer came in, who knows. Not particularly on this piece of wood, but on several pieces of wood. But this one has a lot of handles, a lot of it too. And maybe some of the wood that you got in the past, maybe you have a piece of furniture in your house. We have a lot of antique furniture in there, and think about the story. Here's this oak log. Somebody sawed it down, hauled it out, stickered it, dried it, sold it, made something out of it, and now it's been in our generation. Think of how many hands have handled that. So, even they're going to create something out of it, and maybe it'd be firewood and never be touched again. But if they create something that's a family heirloom and hand it down, think of how many hands could possibly touch just one stupid thing from a tree that nature built grew. So it just makes you think the story behind a lot of things, as opposed to even this thing. Think of how many, you know, somebody had to mine this steel, somebody had to machine this, somebody had to drill the holes, somebody had to make this plastic handle or mold it, even the nut, or do the welds around here and the welds around here. How many hands were there to create something into a finished product, and how many people will handle that after I'm long and gone? Will it last another 100 years? Like, look at that Lickity log splitter down there. Somebody created that back in the 50s. How many people were involved in getting wood to that thing, or that, splitting the wood? Then how many people were kept warm by the wood that thing split? So go up there and listen to Eddie and the creation, and that's a good thing to think about. So I'm going to get to it, and I'll bring you back when I'm a little... Oh, I'll show you these while I'm here. And this is what I'm working on. I don't know whether they're in this video or not. No, they weren't there. I kind of finished these up off camera, and I've got them so they taper in a little bit. And I made these for the top for the tires, and I didn't put them in because I don't know where they'll be snug on the tires. I was going to make it out of that wood that was on the sawmill, and then I thought, well, a solid piece of wood that size, this is 24 by, I don't know how wide it is, I don't have a tape, and I don't know that it really matters, but so 24 by 18 by, ended up being, I think, 12.5 inches high. 12.5 inches high, and I still have the ability to go up one or take one down, and made it out of pressure wood because it just doesn't seem to rot as fast as regular wood you get. So think of how I was going to make a solid block out of it, and I was going, well, I can't pick it up. Well, heck, I could hardly pick this thing up. This thing's got to go 50, 60 pounds, but I want something solid that it's not going to rock around. And then if I want, I got it so I put a piece of wood through here and out to the other side to stabilize left side to right side. And I'm also thinking about maybe putting another 2x6 up here so the wheel has a backer. So I'll kind of show you it's just a thought. So I might not do it for the show, but I might do it for, then the wheel will be here, the wheel will be here, and it would just stabilize it, because I like sawmills that are, or wood splitters that are very stable. So that's what I want to get the wood off the truck for, so I can go down and play with a knuckle boom truck to kind of pick that Lickity log splitter up and set it down on there. I got to make that bracket and weld that bracket for that jack stand. So like I said, got lots going on today. Get ready for the show. So I'll bring you back when I'm working on something else. So we'll see you in a bit. Bye-bye. Well, guys, it starts by making a template. So I get a piece of old these. They threw them out from the schools when I was a janitor and saved them because they make great templates. So I got this one here is 4 inches wide. This one here is 5 inches wide. I'm not quite sure what I got. I got this piece of old steel that I had. This is 5 inches this way, so I can do the 5 inches. Then I might want to come down, or I might want to just have it 5 by 4. It's gives me a little option. So I'm gonna put this together. Then we're gonna go down and see what it takes to get it onto the side of the Lickity log splitter, or fabricate it so it'll go. And we'll be back in a little bit. Hello, guys. Well, this is kind of why you make a template. You got one angle here, you got a radius here, you got weld up and down here. So this is kind of what I came up with, which is about like that. I could make this a little bit longer here with something like that, and then put that round thing about here. So we're kind of, so then I can put a hole here, a hole here. We put a hole here, put a hole somewhere around there, I think. So I have to come up with that. But I had all sorts of angle goofies down here and angle goofies down here. And then I also got the, oh, I didn't cut this one. Not sure whether I'd rather go with 4 inch or the 5 inch. I got the 5 inch piece up there. So once again, this is here. This actually looks like about the same as that by the time you Yeah, figure this one out. Yeah, it's about the same. 6.5 does the other. I got the 5-inch up there. If I had some 4-inch, that might not be too bad either. So we'll just kind of put it up like that and go put a little line down the back of it here the best I can. Draw that out. Cut that. Scissors. You need a haircut? It's Mr. Scissorhand. Can't see because of the shadow of the sun on there, where the line is at all. So that would be like that. A little bit more plate there doesn't hurt. But I might be able to get that on. That goes down a little bit further. Well, I'll see what I got in the parts department steel. We'll be back in a bit. Now that I got what I want on the thing, now I got to figure out how to chop it. Because this only angles one way. That won't angle that way. Probably won't. I don't know if I can even chop that. I can chop that one there though. So now we'll let it down to where it's pretty close. It doesn't, that's showing it almost has to be 90. Maybe that is a 90-degree cut to that. I don't, I guess I ain't got my stuff down here. Anyhow, I'm gonna chop this stuff off and then bring it back. That must, yeah, that probably is a a 90-degree cut to that. Anyhow, that's you gotta flip, oh, I pushed that down. You gotta flip-flop it back and forth and get what you want. I'm gonna go get a square. I usually have one down here, but I took it out and I walked down to see if that is a 90, because that would be a lot easier on me. So we'll be back in a little bit. Well, here's the setup. Hi guys, here's the setup for the second one. I got it clamped here onto the bed here. I got it clamped here and clamped here. To do all those kind of angles, it ain't that easy. Just if you clamp it in that way, the angles don't like to go. So this is about the best I can do. We'll start it up and flash some lights at you and see what we can get. This is going to take a long cut, so I'm not going to bore you guys with the whole thing. Just kind of get it going. Get my oil can out, put a little bit of oil on it. A little oil here, a little oil there, a little oil everywhere. Every time I do this, I put a drop of oil on it. Anyhow, I'll bring you back when I got it clamped up. I might have to use a whiz wheel on that cut there. And they're not on the money, they're not perfect, but they're good enough for what I'm making. We'll be back in a bit. Here we go, we're kind of clamped in for the last one. I keep it tight against this piece here and clamp it there, and it should work. It's not very good on the line. I don't have very good lines on it. I couldn't find my normal drawing piece. Put a little bit of oil on it. It'll grab that in a second and drag it down. Then we'll go up there. Then I found a piece of steel, I think here, for this piece here, a little loose. I might look at, I got another piece that I'm thinking about. You make it too tight, you never get it in and out, but then you don't want any slop. I have this other piece over here that I might cut, because the inside might work out better. So, I don't know. I'll cut it and see what the dimensions on the inside are. It might be a little tighter. I save everything. That came off my track, a Case 450 track loader when they had to put new track tubes on it because they kept losing pressure. It was too corroded inside. So I'm going to cut that off down here, measure it, cut it off so I have the two stubs on that thing. So that's what we're working at. Oh, I forgot to undo this and let it go down, I think. Yep. Cuts better if you get the feed going, doesn't it? Anyhow, I'll be back in a little bit. Hi guys, takes a long time to make something. I cut the first one off. A little bit of leftover at each end so I can true it up on the lathe if I want to. This piece here, like I said, came off the dozer. This push a track forward, and that's where you put the grease in to push it forward. I'm about ready to cut that off, but that might be, I'm getting the legs in the way here. That might be a little bit messy because I got a feeling from here down is going to be solid grease. So I'll bring it along after I get it cut off. I got to cut this side off, and this is tapered in here, I guess, to put the plunger in. So it's got to get cut back at whatever. So I'll cut that and be back in a bit. Well, I got no idea what I'm going to find inside this. We're all going to find out together. It's still pretty solid. I'll probably cut it off here and cut it off here later down the day, but this is a good save piece. I think this is going to be Schedule 80 pipe. It might have been tube, though, that doesn't have a welded seam inside. I'm not sure what it is. I gotta turn it off. Like I said, I thought that was going to be grease inside. And it does look like Schedule 80. So that's solid grease in there. So I got to cut it off back there, and I'll bring, I don't think I'll bring you along for that. And clean the grease out, I think I'll spare you on that too. But it might have a better, I don't even know what I do with that thing right now. It might have a closer tolerance in this, so I don't have quite the wobble on the front leg. That's what I'm going for. So we'll be back in a bit. Well, guys, here's what I've come up with. Not much. I wanted a snug fit. This is the actual rod that came out of the dozer. Hard, I don't think I could. After you got through the chrome, you could probably work it. I don't know. But I don't know if you can see in there. Look at the slop. I guess there was a packing and all sorts of crap up this thing. You can see the piston was on this part right here. And this appears to be about the same size, and I got about the same amount of slop in there. So as this one here. So for speed of everything, look at that doesn't look like schedule. That doesn't even look like Schedule 40 pipe. I don't know what that is. So I'm not quite sure what I'm getting to, but I'm going to go work on that bracket, which I don't even know. Oh, here it is. That's all finished. So I'm heading back up to the other shop, get some wire brush, and do some thinking. We'll be back in a bit. Hi guys, well, welcome back to the wood splitter. Who knows what? I don't know what you can see. I would have brought you along for more camera work, except for every time I turned around, the camera was in a different spot, so you missed it. So sorry about your bad luck. What we got here, the reason I got it on the truck is because it's a flat surface. Kind of gets me better. If it's on the ground, it might not be quite what I'm looking for. I'm thinking, I don't know if you can see in there, if I measure this one up here, this is what I wanted on a, didn't care whether it was level, just flat. You're looking at 33 inches there and 32 inches there. But when I go over to the, oh heck, I won't be able to work the ruler, over to the super fast casualist, there's another Lickity log splitter. Man, they're growing. Man, I don't see any babies yet though. Daggone. Anyhow, this one here, now see, this comes up real strong on this side. There's a 31. Well, there's so much crap on the other side you won't be able to see it. 30, you can see all the, I can't get a good reading, and now I can't get it because if you move it out a little bit, you're looking at 32, 33, so it's right about the same, because this, you can't see the angle here. That's 31, but I'm thinking, there you go, thinking. That's a stupid thing for a crazy man to do, or a crazy thing for a stupid man to do. I'm thinking about taking one course out of here. And another reason I had it on here, I didn't know where to put these chocks, so I'm going to bring them in a 1/2 inch on each side and bring them in. But I think I'm going to take that that one layer out, which is kind of not what I wanted to do, because that let's see, if I take this layer out, then the tire's going to sit down in here. So I better not screw these in until I get that down. That tire will sit down in a better cavity, because this thing right now, I got to get up there. Oh, I didn't show, well, I'll put this here. I gotta climb up board, guys. You ought to get a good laugh out of this. The old man getting up on the truck. Oh lordy. And I busted the daggone winch thing again, which I do that on a regular basis. I run the boom out without having the winch unhooked. I get confused with the controls. All right, now I've got this on, which I wanted to show you. There's the plate. Most of the plates that come are a lot longer than that. I didn't want it to hang down like that, so that's why I got this style, number one. Number two, I got this style because the crank is out here. But you can't have this thing here when you split wood, okay? This is only for whatever. I need to make another post to go down, but see how wobbly it is? And I don't like, now once I get those tires chocked in there, that should take care of some of that, see, that should take care of a lot of it. But that's why I wanted a tighter tolerance in that. See all the wobble in that? And this can go, it's not, I don't think it's fully extended. I didn't mark it when it was down. Anyhow, so I think I'm going to take that off and lower it. If it's too much lower, I can just take one of these pieces and shove it through there. And just, you know, I think that might be what I do. So I'll see what it is. If I need to raise it up just a hair. Waste-wise though, I'm wasted. Let me put this down. Woo! How do you like the sky today? Go on, go down, go down. Waist height though, it's just about what that's not too bad really. That's not too bad. So if it goes down another 1.5 inches, it'll be about here. So I'm not sure. Maybe I'll try it out there. I'm just not quite sure. That's pretty comfortable height. I don't have to bend over at all. Let me go over and see what I got over there on the other one. Don't have to bend over, and it's right about here. I got a marker there. Anyhow, that's what I'm playing with a little bit. But it's up to a lot more comfortable height already though, isn't it? Anyway, I'll bring you back when I make a decision and make a move. So we'll be back in a little bit. And no, I'm not going to show you me climbing off of this thing. It's easier to fall. Well, I just can't figure out the height exactly I want. We're sitting at 31.5, 31. That's pretty comfortable. Pretty comfortable. I don't know. I just don't know. I think might have to just try it out. That's 31. That's 31.5. I don't know what the, there's no suspension on this thing. So the tires, that shows about 10 inches, and I know there was up about 12 inches. Yeah, I think I'll take a layer of those blocks off and set it back up there and see what I think. So we'll be back in a little bit. Bye-bye. Well, this is the lower down look. I don't remember any measurements, and it did what I thought it would do, is go down in here a little bit, but that makes it tighten up in there better, so it's a lot more sturdy than it was. I screwed these in. I'll put a couple more screws in there just for safety's sake, so I'm pretty happy with that there. This is the Trek, so it's plastic wood, treated, mistreated. I can move up and down on that, but that has to come off, so I have to make another leg for up front of some sort. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do right there yet. As the height goes, we're on this side here, you're looking at 31.5. Down here you're looking, I don't know how straight that board is, you're looking at 31.5. So it's fairly good at 31.5, and that's good enough for now. I got to do something with this part down here. So that's going to be it. If you like my Rube Goldberg, I might do some other stuff later, because I'm gonna go up and eat dinner now. It's, believe it or not, I started at 11, now it's 6, so it's dinner time. So that's where I'm at. They're spying on me again. They're all the time spying on me. Anyhow, hit the like button, subscribe button if you would. I'd appreciate it. And if you know anybody else out there with a lickety splitter that needs a raise, send them on by. We'll see you later.